Hello, this is Victor. I'm here with a new weekly painting, and this time I'm going to share how I do the dark wood for that I do for example for these stairs. I will use this for my warcry terrain. Instead of doing the wood that more like wood that we did before with snakebite leather. If you want to know exactly how was done, you can go 2 weeks ago. I did in the previous weekly. Now I'm going to explain how to do dark wood. Okay, and we'll start using a Wyldwood contrast. Okay, this is quite a dark one, and the objective is to go to color like this one. This is still drying at the end. Okay, so we are going to apply this. Of course, this is an object that is quite not easy to handle because you cannot do all these parts. So the stairs should not be attached to anything. So I want to apply this on all the stairs. Okay. Again, we just when you're playing this, be careful that it's not accumulating too much in some parts, and just as I'm doing here, spread the paint and so on. Okay. You will see at the end you will need to do most likely a second look, because I don't know why when it's drying it's leaving sometimes small white dots. So you will need to make a second, not a completely second layer, but you will need to look at the miniature after that and check if you have missed any spot. Okay. The primer I put here is how it's called, the name, let me check here. It's done by spray, but it's the Wraithbone primer. Okay, but I use it in spray, and you want to have a nice clean priming application. Okay, so try not to have if this is a part of another miniature that you have paint, try to keep this part clean or clean it up before applying the contrast. Contrasts are very transparent, and I'm realizing that they work very well on top of white or bone primers or white colors, bone colors, light grays. But if you have like zenithal priming or something like that, it's not the best thing to use, right? Because they are very transparent. You will need to do most likely a couple of layers. If you have done zenithal, it will transparent the zenithal, so this is a good point. But most likely you will need to give a couple of layers, especially if you do a light color. Here I just prime it in this white that is almost is a white between white and bone color, and now I am applying this Wyldwood contrast paint. Okay, so I will apply this and I will wait that this dries, and I will show you how it looks like when it has dried. Okay, once the Wyldwood have dried, this is how it will look like. Okay, I still see I missed a small point there. So I recommend, and I did, you need, this is happening quite often with this, especially when you are priming white. The mistakes are much visible. So yeah, I will do it. So you have to be careful with all this, so you don't want to leave any white spot. And now what we are going to do is we are going to dry brush all this, and we are going to dry brush with a brown that have a little bit of component, or a desaturated brown, right? And one that works very well is the Baneblade Brown. You can use any type of brown that you like it from any company, so this is not the point. But I try to use it one that is like that, a little bit creamy, a little bit greyish, right? And we are going to dry brush. So we take a big brush, I put it here, I take some of the paint. Okay, well, this is almost finished. We dry the brush. Okay, the way that we are sure that we don't have too much paint. Now we are going to dry brush. Okay, I always recommend to start very soft, and if you see that you don't do too much, always you can pass over several times. Okay, but always important to start very soft, because it's easy to put more, but it's going to be difficult to correct if you make a mistake, right? The only way to if you make a mistake and you put too much lighter paint, the only way to correct it is to repainting again everything. The other way around, if you don't put as much as needed, you always can keep adding until you are happy with the final result. Okay, so we take a little bit more. This I have almost this pot finished. And remember, we want to don't want to go too heavy with the dry brush. I want to leave a light touch. Okay, first I start with a very little pressure, just letting the brush go over, and then I start applying more and more pressure until I reach the highlight that I want, right? You will see this works very well if it's texturized. You see there again a part that was not, but you will see that in the flat parts, yeah, you will have, it's going to not, yeah, put it a little bit, okay, but don't put too much on the flat parts, okay, just, okay, something like that. Okay, and now I go on the other direction. You always want these corners, this to get. Okay, and you see how it looks like now. Okay, I will put a little bit more because I want it a little bit more. Have a look of older. Okay, so I can start here. I will not go lighter in that case, and with that I think I will achieve a nice, this you can see, and I have to say that the texture that Games Workshop will give to these stairs or these pieces of wood is very crisp and very easy to dry brush, okay, because it's very nice texturized. Put a little bit here, okay, and that's all. So this is a very easy, fast way to do these stairs, and these are now ready to be used. So the same process we can do on all the flat parts of the buildings. Okay, let me see if I can pick up a small one. Okay, you can do the same process here on all these woods. So I will follow the step one. Is first I want to do the wood, and I will do the stones, and I will do this part later, right? So I will do now a tutorial for how to do these buildings or these rings from warcry, but I will follow the same process exactly for the wood. So this is just focusing on the wood. I hope you like what you have seen here. It's quite an easy and straightforward one, but it gives a very nice result. Here we have one and the other stairs. Okay, so that's all for now. Please give a like if you have liked this video. Comment, share if you think other people can be interested on that. And as usual, thanks a lot for watching, and see you again later. Bye.